Okay. Councillor Perks.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Painful conversations are something that a lot of us come to with a lot of reluctance. But they're worth having because sometimes something happens during that conversation that surprises you and you get a new insight. And that happened for me today. And it happened comparing some of the things that Councillor Holyday was saying with some of the things Councillor Moyes was saying, particularly around public opinion and public acceptance of the decisions that City Council makes. Councillor Holyday said in his remarks that we're offside with public opinion. He asked deputants, well, you know, isn't this unpopular? And if government does something unpopular, doesn't that bring us into disrepute? He asked another one, you know, do you think there's been adequate public consultation on this? Reflecting on that and reflecting on some of the things, you know, Councillor Holyday, like all of us, has the right to move motions and debate them and doesn't have to do a public opinion poll on every one. I can think of some in the last budget. He moved a motion that we should start charging children to ride the TTC. I'm unaware of there being a public opinion poll on that, but I doubt it would be popular. Similarly, he moved a motion that if the federal government didn't give us money for shelter beds, we should start closing shelter beds by attrition. You remember that one too. Again, I don't think there was a public opinion poll on that, and I doubt it would have come through with a lot of public support. So what's different about this one? What is different about this decision from every other decision that Councillor Holyday has moved a motion on without first polling public opinion? I think it has to do with the fact that this is a very divisive issue and it goes to whose voices are legitimate in the conversation about the future of the City of Toronto. And that's what Councillor Moyes was talking about. Sure, you can go and do a public opinion. You can do a survey and collect names from Lethbridge and Oakville and wherever you want to. And there will always be a voice in Canada that wants to refuse the efforts that we make here and that other governments make to address the structural racism in Canada and in the City of Toronto. There will always be people who don't want us to acknowledge that there is anti-black racism in our society, and we have a duty to deal with it. The legitimate thing for a government like us to do is to not privilege those voices, is to say to those voices, I am sorry, I come to my role as an elected official with values and morals and a vision of an inclusive future, and I am not going to listen to a petition, and I don't care how many names are on it, that says go backwards. I am going to listen to those voices in our community who are saying, I am excluded because of the color of my skin. And I am going to take action to include those voices. A key thing that has been said over and over again is the city did something wrong by moving a motion at council to do this, based on advice from just an advisory committee instead of some broader public consultation. What is wrong with asking Indigenous and Black voices what we can do to make the public spaces in the City of Toronto more welcoming and more reflective of their experience? That is how you make government legitimate for everyone, not just the privileged few. So I do not feel that this government is going to fall into disrepute. I feel that this is how we are going to build a reputation, that we are going to lead, that we are going to show it is possible to redress the historical facts of the city we live in, that we live on stolen and Indigenous land, that we have people here who got here as part of the slave trade, and that we are serious when we say those voices are legitimate, need to be respected, those lives have to be able to be lived to their fullest in a city that includes them, that privileges their voice in these conversations. And I am profoundly disappointed that any member of council would get in the way of that good work.